Masama kwa biem de ba ye channel yi so na LGBT nsensem ya nanu ya ye Ghana mampanyin Ewura John Dramani Mahama ko kan ho asem se bill no de e wo honum but ko be here some consultations bi before say obesign no ye be kaya before say ba beto aba no even no campaign messages na e kan ho say omo ba ya especially some George say omo ba ya Ewura John Dramani Mahama e ba be sign bill no into law. As you see, I'm buy a story upon stories, and I'm catch and no a Menshia South MP, Kushia a can say lawyer Adom actually, I want the program so now didn't you move be a quote to about the LGBT bill now. A conco on my obian who say all signing or what's it you are don't demand my mass of the Ghana for a dear go or a coin be so cause bill ne de obaye no yaje atum eda ho no na president bi enchen president bi parliament na etna say a omo decide say ni yaje atum say bill no Ghana mampanyi en sign na de office no entimi an sign ya obaye a afi na obaye say yenko seek from for another consultation as na waje bill na atum si ansem na you John Dramani Mahama ekeka ne de ento asum na ne ensem de obusu bi super ma eye Kwadwosheldon why Sh0cked pan say MP no si edisa ensem bisa tudwane ensem no wakuti Menshia South MP ensem a wadi tuja about the LGBT bill eda paswa inye hu de all sign amana aba into law ti yankwa ne yanko ti mi amwase.
To give real meaning to this, let's go to Article 106 of the Constitution.
What's there?
The power of Parliament to make laws. Under the Constitution of Ghana, the power to make laws is vested in Parliament under Article 93 of the Constitution. And it says that it shall be exercised in accordance with the Constitution. Now, at Article 106, the Constitution now expresses itself as to how Parliament should make the law. The power of Parliament to make laws shall be exercised by bills passed by Parliament. So Parliament has passed the law, has passed the bill. So we, as far as Parliament's duty is concerned, lawmaking duty is concerned, it has come to an end, as you know, in terms of or regarding the Anti-LGBT Act. It is left with the President to sign. The Republic of Ghana, which is the creation of law, is always a going concern. There is no MPP president, there is no NDC president, there is the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Government is a continuum.
Government is a continuum. In that regard, you cannot say that I have taken over. What I took over, I think this one is good, this one is bad, and so I will not do it. What you came to meet, you have to sign, especially also because this is a private member's bill. You cannot therefore say that it is a partisan policy. It's a partisan policy
of the MPP.
And
the key movers of the bill are NDC people.
Exactly.
Some Nate George.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so therefore, in my humble opinion, the president's position is in error. Absolute error.
His position that the bill has failed
is in error. It is not a bill which is still under consideration by Parliament. It has been passed by Parliament. Parliament has finished its work. The only outstanding work is the assent of the president. That is the only thing outstanding. The fundamental question is whether or not the transition, right, the consequence of the transition makes this bill fail.
No. For a bill to fail, it's not about transition.
No.
It's about Parliament not having completed its work.
No.
I get your point.
So the president, in my humble opinion,
may be wrong.
It's wrong. It's wrong. And I think that in the wake of the resolution that empowers.
So your point is that when they say a bill has failed, it means the bill has not completed the parliamentary process.
No.
Where a bill has completed the parliamentary process and is lying on the president's table, that bill has not failed. A new president can come and sign it.
It hasn't failed. Paul, I'm not a politician, so let me add a political tone to it. Previously, I was just a lawyer doing my politics underground. Paul, the lesson from the recent elections for me is one and only one. We risk going into political recession as a nation. We risk going into political recession where people are going to lose faith in politicians, thinking that we are all born of the same stock, same mother.
Yeah, because something you criticize, you come, you do it. He also criticizes, he comes, he do it. So it's a sustainability question.
Yes, but if you recall, historically, there was a great deal of enthusiasm. There was a great deal of enthusiasm for the district assembly elections. If you recall, when it first started, 88.
Yeah, there was.
People were interested in it.
Yeah. Now it's gone.
Then suddenly people realized that it meant nothing. It brought nothing. It made no difference. And so today, less than 10% of the voter population take part
in that
elections.
I regret to say that I've never voted in this.
Exactly. We risk gradually getting there in our general elections
because the voter turnout was low already.
It was low.
We are not careful. We are going to 50.
No, you see,
then 40.
The generation,
then insurrection.
The generation, exactly. There'll be nobody to defend it. There'll be nobody to defend the democracy.
Yeah.
And so, for us to protect this democracy, our word should be our bond. Our word should be our bond. And it is important that President Mahama signs this bill into
the LGBT bill.
Yes.
But the international community don't want him to sign it. They didn't want Kwadwosheldon to sign it. They don't want Mahama to sign it.
That is the international community.
Sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana.
Sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana. We have made commitments to the people of Ghana. We have made promises to the people of Ghana. Let us make sure we keep it, so that tomorrow somebody wouldn't say that all politicians are the same. We have to be careful. It's my is a little advice that very respectful.
Okay, great.
The proper human sexuality, it's quite a long name. Proper family values bill. If you remember, there was a court case that injuncted the speaker from forwarding it to the president, and also restrained the president from receiving the bill. Eventually that case was disposed of in December, I think on the 18th or so. Yeah, so it meant that the injunction had been cleared. But as far as I know, the bill did not get to the president for assent. And so the convention is that all bills that are not assented to before the expiration of the life of Parliament expire. And so that bill effectively is dead, it has expired. I don't know what the promoters of the bill intend to do, but I do think that we should have a conversation on it again, so that all of us, if we decide to move that bill forward, move it forward with a consensus. And probably it shouldn't be a private member's bill, it probably should be a government bill with governments behind it after consultation with all the stakeholders to see how we're able to move this forward. But it leads us back to the discussion we had, that if we're teaching our values in school, we won't need to pass a bill to enforce our family values. And that's why I think more than even the family values bill is us agreeing on a curriculum that inculcates these values into our children as they're growing up, so that we don't need to legislate it. And so we'll see how all this goes. And so I'm looking forward to this review conference, so that we can come to some consensus on some of these issues. But I wish to thank you very much for.
Lastly, on the LGBT issues, I mean, if you get a nod, how far would you hope to push it? The president, your candidate, when he was interviewed on the BBC, he said he would now look into what is in that bill.
That's a misconception that's been put out, and I listened to that full BBC interview. President Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from St. George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill. What the president said to the BBC was in response to why President Akufo-Addo has not signed the bill. And he said to them, look, what President Akufo-Addo should have done, instead of rejecting service of the bill, was to have received the bill, stated what his displeasure is with the bill, which is what the Constitution says. The Constitution in Article 1067, President Mahama in his response to the BBC was referring to the Constitution of Ghana. Article 1067 says that when he gets to the president, he must within 14 days indicate whether he would sign or not sign. If he chooses not to sign, he then has to bring it back to Parliament and then state in the memo to Parliament the reasons why he's refusing to sign and add the recommendations to remedy those challenges he sees. Otherwise, within the 14 days, he can refer it within 30 days. He can refer it to the Council of State, who have 30 days to give him advice. That's what President Mahama was saying in that BBC interview. He was not saying that he now has to read the bill. President Mahama has read the bill. It's because he's read the bill that he told the clergy that when he becomes president, he will sign the bill, because President Mahama has no problem with anything in the bill. That explanation he was given was basically what the president should have done as a lawyer in line with our constitution, because the president's decision not to have service of the bill on him is unconstitutional and shows you how reckless and irresponsible Akufo-Addo is as a president.
So, and President Akufo-Addo seem to share the same views on the LGBT. It looks like it's the same. President Akufo-Addo says, yes, I don't support same-sex marriage. I'm a Christian, but ban the activity, ban the advocacy. He wasn't too sure whether the advocacy should be banned, and many lawyers are wondering, how do you ban advocacy when the Constitution keeps human rights, human associations, advocacy, expressions as a fundamental right of individual Ghanaians? President Mahama seems to say the same thing. Whilst he says against his Christian religion, he is not quite saying whether he will ban anything. President Akufo-Addo here appears to have the same position. But if you backtrack this to 2023, you will get the sense that President Mahama is for the LGBT bill, President Akufo-Addo is against the LGBT bill. Now here reality falls upon us, and President Mahama has never said that he is for the bill. So what he said this morning is really consistent with what he has been saying. The issue now is pressure is mounting on him from some judge who he didn't mention. He said the promoters of the bill, but President Mahama knows who the promoters of the bill are. He knows that the promoters of the bill are some of his principal actors. The key actors in the National Democratic Congress are the promoters of the bill. All of us who support the bill know who is the promoter of the bill. It's some judge. He didn't mention him in his conversation. It means something in political communication. For those who have not done political communication, but it does. Those who did it tell us that when somebody says something in political communication and omits to mention names, it means something. If he goes ahead to mention names, also means something. President Mahama said the promoters of the bill. The promoters of the bill are Sam George, Drisu Haruna. These are principal actors of the NDC. Sam George is almost certainly going to be a minister on President Mahama's list. So you have to tell me what you make of it. A lot more information.